Welcome to the training recording for the employee role in HRSimplified. Let's start with logging into the system. Navigate to the website, hrsimplified.org, and select the login. Once you arrive at the application, you can store this URL to be able to log in directly. You will use your username, password, and the normal login details that you would find. A few things to note at this stage. The passwords need to be complex, at least 8 characters. They need to include an unprintable character. They need to have a capital and a few others. As you create them or change them, the system will inform you. You will, when you are added to the system, receive a welcome email from HRSimplified, which will contain your username, your password, and the login location. Nobody can see your password except yourself. The only other way is for an HR administrator or your manager to create or to give you a specific password in the system. Once that is done, we suggest that you just change your password when you log in the next time so that you are always secure. Keep in mind the system does contain personal information, so we want to protect that as much as possible. Another thing to remember about the framework is that the system will have a 20-minute timeout. So if you are inactive for more than 20 minutes, the system will pop up with a message that will allow you to, or that will warn you that that you will be logged out of the system in 20 minutes, and the countdown will allow you to see how long that's going to be and to stop that if you want to continue with your work. Another thing to remember is that the account will lock after 3 attempts. If you are signing in with your username and password and you use the wrong password, after 3 attempts the account will be locked. It is just for security reasons, so somebody cannot try and hack your account, but that automatically resets after 20 minutes. So if you encounter that, just give it 20 minutes and you should be able to try again. If not, please log a ticket and we will sort that out for you. So if we can log in, the first thing we will notice is this pop-up from the browser. It's asking that HRSimplified wants to know your location. We suggest that you say allow on every visit, and this will be remembered for as long as your session is active. In other words, if you start a new session in a month from now, that will be asked again, or if you go to a different PC or a different browser. Basically what that allows is when checking in and checking out is attended to, then the location of your activity will be tracked and recorded alongside the data, to allow the managers and administrators to see where the check-in and check-out happened from, and that's based on the time and attendance component. So let's get into what HRSimplified does so you can better understand the layout. Here at the top you have your profile details. This is where you would change your picture, your login attempts you can see, and you can also change your password. There's also a feature for allowing you to chat inside the application to other users, but only people inside your own organization, not outside. And then on the left hand side we've got your home section, which contains all the self-service components. So the first one is the dashboard. What it basically allows you is to apply for leave. You can submit a claim, and that will be either overtime or expenses. You'll be able to check in and check out. Once you check out, let's just check in quickly. Let's give it a few moments. We'll get back to this one. The last one is to create a grievance, and that's the normal HR process. If you are unhappy with something that happened in the office, you are allowed to create a grievance, which will then be going to HR for them to attend to. At the bottom here, we have a few other items. We have leave applications. Now these are all notification based. You can see how many. This is when you maybe a manager or maybe a supervisor, and you have people reporting to you and they've submitted leave for you to approve. This is where you would find that. So if I go click on that, it will give me a list of all the things that's waiting for my approval. The same thing with claims. So I've got a few claims that is waiting for us to come through. And then performance assessments, we don't have any there, but if you are requested to do a performance assessment, you will receive an email from the system for all these types of notifications. You would see a little bubble there that shows you, okay, there is a performance assessment that needs to be completed, or there isn't. Also, if you have any surveys that's been submitted to you, that would be notify you for the surveys that needs to be completed. And also, if the HR department or a manager has issued a note to you that needs to be signed on the platform, it will also show you those over here under this bubble. But let's get back to checkout. If you check out, now that it's been running for a while, you need to add a note. You must also select a task if there are any, and this will be based on projects that's been assigned to you. And you can also indicate if it's billable or not. Once you've done that, then you can save. It means that the time between the first click and the second one is now recorded as a timesheet item. That's how the dashboard works. Pretty straightforward. You can also see whose birthday is up next, a small motivational thing, and if you are on a shift basis, then your next shift will be indicated here. If we go from the top down, we have My Profile. My Profile starts with your address, and you can update and change this and save it. A job description will be displayed here if one has been selected for you by HR. So if there is nothing, it means they haven't done that yet. But you can request and they can add it on your profile, which will then be displayed over here. You can also maintain your own skills. Very simple. Choose the skill that you want to maintain, or say that you have, how long you've had it, what the skill level is, and you can save that. This then goes to your HR profile, so HR will have a copy of that. You can also update your qualifications. Maybe you've done some kind of course or you've done some kind of certification. Then you can also update your work history, which can include previous organizations. It does not have to be only the company you're working for now. And this is good for the HR department to know what your previous skills and positions were at previous companies, because they might be able to apply you to in a different position. Emergency contacts allows you to create your next of kin. Mom, dad, child, whatever you want to add there. Your department structure shows you an organogram of where you fit into the department of your company that you are in, and also into the branch that you are in, and also the structure of the team that you are in. So depending on how teams are set up, those are the 3 places you will be able to see how you fit in. That we can find under My Profile. If you want to go to My Finances, this will be any claims that's been submitted. We looked at that on the dashboard. So if we go back and say submit a claim, we can say it's an expense claim. It might be for 100 Rand. This claim started on the 1st, completed on the 1st. Take out for dinner. You can attach up to 3 files and then you can submit. That has then gone off to the manager. The manager gets notified, you get notified as well via email, and the manager can then process that claim, or at least approve the claim. If we go back to leave, we haven't looked at that yet. If I go say I want to put in sick leave or study leave, let's make it annual leave. I can say I want to do it half day, it will be in the morning. I can say I want to do leave for tomorrow. And I can add an attachment once again. This can be done from your phone as well. There we go. So now we've submitted both of those. If I go to My Finances now, here I can see my expense claim. I can see it's loaded. Only thing I can do is I can go update it at this stage still. Once the manager's approved it, that will go to approved, and then you won't be able to edit it anymore. And the same with leave. So on the leave side, I can see my leave applications. There's a leave we just applied for. So we can go look at that. The beeps you're hearing is the emails that come through regarding these. So we can see here's my leave details. I can change it. I can also cancel the leave. Once the leave has been approved by the manager, then you cannot cancel it. Then you have to retract the leave. So if you come back here later when this is processed, you will see the buttons would have changed and it has moved from cancelled to retract leave, which will allow you to retract it. The manager will approve the retraction and your days will be rolled back to you. On the day that the leave is approved, that day is the time when the days are taken off your leave balance. And the leave balances are always available at the top here for the different types of buckets or types of leave. If I go to the leave calendar, this will show me when I've got leave. I've also got a public holiday roster that shows me where public holidays are and which countries they are approved for. And I can also see my calendar for my department. So this will show you everybody that's on leave in your department that you might need to work with. Go over to assets. Any assets that's been issued by the company to you, that's been assigned to you, will be listed over here, so you can see what they are and be aware of what is on your name that you have to return when you leave one day, and that you are responsible for during your employment. And you can also go to My Orders. If your company has got it, you can go and click here. You can order the branded t-shirt, for instance, give a reason and submit that. It will go to the asset manager, which will then approve it, issue it to someone else in the company to issue you with that part that you've ordered, and that will then complete the order. If I move on to my documents, we start with my share documents. These documents are private documents that's stored in the system against your name or your HR profile. You can upload documents. You can choose what type of document it is that you're uploading, and this would come as a request from HR in normal cases where they might ask you to please sign a policy and upload it or something like that, or maybe your ID book, personal identification, or a copy of that. You are allowed to do that from here. You can also upload your employee notes. You can also access your employee notes from here. That will be issued from HR or from the manager to yourself, and you can see them here. You can also sign those notes if they require a signature. You can also see the shared organizational documents, which is the bulk documents of the company. These would be general, publicly accessible documents. Maybe it's a policy from the company. Maybe it is a form that you are supposed to use for specific ways of submitting something. It could be the newsletters, it could be any type of document like that. They will be uploaded by HR, and you will get a notification via email that you are required to go and sign that document or acknowledge that document. That's simply done by clicking on the action button, and there's an acknowledgement section there. If you select that, it will download a copy of the document to your machine, and you will be able to go through that document in your own time. The employee surveys is part of the employee survey component. That allows you to complete surveys. So HR or managers can issue surveys to staff, and the staff can then go and open those surveys and complete them. They could include anything like employee wellness surveys, exit interviews, health and safety, inspections. All those kind of surveys can be found here. So if you're looking for surveys, they are under your documents. If I go to my performance, this would be related to performance management. Any performance management assessments that's been issued to you from the manager will be listed here, and you have the option to then go and complete them. You will have the option to first do a self-assessment, which then goes back to the manager for a review and completion. That comes back to you for another review, and then a finalization by yourself. Once that's done, you are allowed to download a copy of that assessment via PDF download in this grid. There's also a peer review system that goes along with performance. When a performance assessment is sent to an employee, there are other peers selected. Those peers would then receive a request to answer a few questions about that employee, and this is where you would then get the requests that have been issued to yourself to be able to complete on another employee. So this would be your 360 review. Under the My Training section is any training that's been decided or booked or scheduled for yourself will be listed here. It will have a quick open pop-up that you can select, which will give you a little modal that allows you to go through the course content and a few external links if those are available. And this is also where you can upload the certificate of that course. Once you have completed it and it's been issued to you, then you can attach it to the training record. Under My Time is where you book or you go and create your timesheets. This would be as you stop and start on the dashboard, it will create an entry. We can see we did this one a little bit earlier. I can then decide what I want to do with that. If I want to go submit it for my manager for approval, and once it's been approved, it will be going onto your timesheet, which is printable for HR. And you can also check in and check out from here, do them manually, or you can just create a manual event. You can also edit an event after it's been done. So if you maybe didn't have an option to delete or to stop a task and you did it a bit later, you are able to go back and change that. You can also see a calendar where all your tasks are on, depending on how you want to look at that. So there's different ways of seeing those tasks. And then you can also go book time independently on tasks. That is, if you have been issued tasks from a project that's been loaded on the system and you are assigned to those, you can then go book your time on those tasks as well. We go to my task board. This will show a list of all your to-do tasks, your in progress, your blocked and your completed, and it does allow you to drag them between the different tasks and to update them in here as well, so that the project manager can see your comments on the tasks. If I go to my tasks, this is just a list of actual open tasks. All of them that you have, you can select what type of project they are in, and they will be filtered based on that as well. And you can then go and update your tasks and keep track of things. Under my shifts, it will just show you a quick overview of which shifts you are booked for, only the ones that you are booked on, not other people. And that will allow you to know when your next shift is going to be. Under recruitment, there is the job board, and the job board just shows you a list of all the open positions in the company. If you feel that there is something that you are good enough or right for the position, you can just go click the apply button, which will then submit your request into the recruitment module, which will go off to HR, and they can then set up an interview and do whatever they need to. And then the notifications is just a normal notification bell and all the messages that's been sent through there. So it's very simple, easy to use. That's everything in a nutshell. So starting at the top, we have the dashboard where you'll do most of your work. You have the My Profile where you can see more information and update your next of kin and how you fit into the department. My Finance, just in short, is going to be your expense claims and your overtime claims. My Leave is going to be the same. We do exactly the same, but only for leave and not for claims. My Assets will be everything that's assigned to you. My Documents, once again, is the share documents. These documents can be uploaded by HR as well and shared with you. That's what's called shared documents. So even if you upload a document and that type of document is not shared with you, you won't see it. So it might look like it's gone missing, but it will still have uploaded and gone to HR. So you might just need to check with them. My Performance, once again, the performance management, your assessments will be over here. You've got an action button that you can address them with. Your peer review questions that's been sent to yourself to answer, those will be here. You have your training, which will be a list of all the training that's been assigned and recorded for you, as well as all your historical training if they have them in the system. My Time is basically just a place where you can look at your timesheet and get those sorted and submitted. And then we have the task board, which is like a Trello board. You can just drag them up and down. In this case, this employee doesn't have any tasks assigned to him. And then once again, just to look at my tasks alone. And the last one, just a list of all the shifts. And then lastly, summary again. If there's any open positions that you're interested in, this is where you would apply for them by clicking the button. So I thank you very much for your time, and I hope that was informative.